Okay, chapter 22. So the test is going to be on chapter 21 and 22. Okay, line segment graphs. So what does one of those look like? A car travels at 60 kilometers in 1 hour and then 80 kilometers the following 2 hours. We can represent this situation graphically, so by a graph. So there's the graph. So we've gone along to 5 hours, even though we only got 1, 2, 3, needed to go to 3 hours, so just a little bit of extra there. And we've gone up to 160, even though we only needed to go to 140. So always give yourself a little bit of extra either side of the graph. Yeah. The line OA, so OA represents the journey for the first hour. We can see it just takes 1 hour. And AB represents the journey for the second hour. So that's the second hour between 1 and 2, and the third hour between 2 and 3. Nothing tricky there. The graph of the line section OA is 60. So that's because if we do the rise, 60 over the run, 1, 60 over 1 is 60. And because these are measured in kilometers, these are measured in hours, it's 60 kilometers per hour. And that's how you write 60 kilometers per hour. I'm sure you know that. And the gradient of the line section AB is 40 because the rise there, so going from 140 to 60, which is 80, 140 take away 60, and the run is 2. So it's 80 over 2, which is 40. So the second section of the journey, the constant speed is 40 kilometers per hour. So these aren't tricky questions, but it's the sort of thing where people make lots and lots of silly mistakes. So these are called line segment graphs. Sometimes they're called piecewise linear graph. Piecewise means they're in like different bits. You've got one bit there and one bit there, so they're in different bits. So here's a more complicated example. So sometimes the graph will be drawn for you. Sometimes you'll have to draw the graph yourself. So it's going from A to B. Something happens here. I'm sure you can shout out now what's happening, and then ends up at C. Questions. Where was the car at 9 o'clock? So at 9 o'clock, the car is 80 kilometers from A, or you could just say at 9 o'clock, it's at B. Where's the car at 9:30? So at 9:30, so there's 9, there's 10, 9:30 is halfway between. So take care, these are 20-minute interviews, aren't they? 20 minutes, 20 minutes, and 20 minutes. 20, 40, 60, 60 minutes in an hour. So halfway is there. So where is the car? It's still 80 kilometers from A or still at B. What is the average speed between A and B? So again, it's just the rise over the run. So the rise over the run. 1. Between B and C, so between B and C. Now this is a bit of a weird one, because if you think that it should really start here, shouldn't it? The average speed, because here it's not moving. So the average speed is the distance. So 160 take away 80 is 180 take away 160 take away 80 is 80. But then we've got to divide it by the time taken. So if you think each one of these is 20, if we start from there, that's 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. That's that bit there is 1 hour. So it's 1 hour and a third of an hour, because 20 minutes is a third of an hour. So it's 1 1/3 hours, which is 4/3. So again, you could do this lots of different ways on your calculator. This is just the way that they've done it. So if you do this, 80 divided by 4/3, you get 60 kilometers per hour to 1 decimal place. Does it say to give your answer to 1 decimal place? It doesn't. So they've done it to 1 decimal place, and they've told us that they've done it to 1 decimal place. How long does the car stop at B? So the car stops at B for 2 bits. Each one of those is 20 minutes. So it's 20 minutes and 20 minutes. So it's 40 minutes or 2/3 of an hour. Doesn't say to give your answer in minutes or hours. So either of those two would be fine. How long does the journey take? So we start at 8, finish at 11, 3 hours. So take care that you don't mess up with these easy questions. What's the average speed of the journey? So the average speed of the journey is the total distance, 160, divided by the total time, 53 kilometers an hour to the nearest kilometer. So I've started again putting some exam questions on there. So have a look at the exam questions, and there's 7 questions for you to do from the exercise book. And don't forget, you might want to start looking at some of the review questions for chapter 21 if you've got time, because you definitely need to do those before the test, won't you? Mr. Patch, over and out.